Commence pre-roll, Gabe.
Pre-roll commencing. Initiating talk sequence 1.
Just so you guys know, for the last 100 episodes or so, or last 120 episodes, Gabe's actually a robot.
I am programmed to be a good co-host. It does not work.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that now, but
Finding food analogy for album.
See, this is like a baguette.
Humans like waffles. This album is like waffles. Hey, I did that a little too good, huh?
Yeah, man. That was a joke, but I'm starting to think that it's true. But that was pretty good.
Matching Chelsea Grin album characteristics to waffles. Actually, I think the last Chelsea Grin album was a casserole.
Yeah. It was meaty, thick. And
Layers.
You just want to have like 7 or 8 of them.
7 or 8 casseroles. Holy shit, you trying to have a heart attack?
Sometimes.
There's a place in Vegas called the Heart Attack Grill, and they take cash only, and they like proudly, advertise that they've had, I think, like 4 or 5 heart attacks on premise.
That's pretty hardcore.
And all the burgers are like, I think you can get a burger with like 12 patties on it.
12?
Yeah, 12 patties and all this shit. I'm sure if you pull it up, you could see a menu. But yeah, that shit's pretty wild.
12
patties, yeah. You want me to look that up real quick?
Yeah, please. Because, this is pre-roll fodder right here, so it's perfect.
Yeah, I got you. So, Heart Attack Grill.
Heart attack. Sorry. That was my really bad Demi Lovato.
Hey, they close at 10:45 today.
Hey, man. Sunday. Sunday's a bad day to die. God's resting.
A great day to die.
You have to wait in line at the Heaven's Gate DMV to get in. Anyway, sorry.
Where is this menu?
Get this menu out, Gabe. Come on, man.
I'm working on it.
You are holding up the pre-roll. What are we going to do?
I mean, we're going to wait for me because we're already committed to this.
Yeah, we can't not do it.
How about we roll the intro and then we talk about the heart attack?
Why? Because it gives you enough time to look it up?
Yes, shut up.
All right. So we'll do that. Gabe, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry if you heard that mic bop. Sorry, mop bop mic.
Kids bop. No,
yeah.
This is what I call
mic bop because my head bumped into the thing during the pre-roll. But anyway, what is going on, guys? Welcome to the Second City Kids podcast, episode number 130.
130.
Oh, yeah. We are back on a beautiful day on the south side of Chicago, Illinois, because it's coming fall.
Yeah, it definitely feels like it.
Yeah, the last couple of days have been like,
70, early Halloween shit.
75-ish with a nice little wind, a little bit of cloud, but not like over the top where you're like depressed.
You could wear a crew neck and shorts, and that's the weather I like.
Oh, yeah. So we are back on a beautiful day. Gabe, did you finally pull up that menu?
So here's how the menu works. So these things are called, the base burger you could get is called the single bypass burger. Okay? And so that comes your standard 2 buns, chili, onion, tomato, cheese, and your burger, right?
Okay.
And so that goes up to a double, a triple, a quadruple, a quintuple, a sextuple, a septuple, and then an octuple.
Holy shit.
Bypass burger.
Fuck.
And then you can add bacon strips to it. So it starts at 5 bacon strips for the single bypass. And then once you get the octuple, it's 40 bacon strips for an additional $7.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So that's
impressive.
Yeah. So 8 buns, or I'm sorry, 8 patties. A lot of fucking chili, 2 buns, some tomato, a lot of cheese, and 40 slices of bacon for $32.
See, usually I would make a joke like, oh, yeah, I could do that, but I can't even fuck around with that. That's heavy breathing.
No. How would you even eat that, man? That's like I'd imagine the thing is like stupid tall.
What is the basic, bitch? Like the very first one? What is it? What is
the
it again?
basic is obviously your 2 buns, meat, cheese, tomato, onion, and chili.
That's sizable.
That sounds meaty.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could do a single or a double.
Yeah.
Maybe a triple if we're like starving,
Yeah,
but that's kind of pushing it.
If we haven't eaten all day, maybe.
But an octuple, woo, with the 40 bacon slices. Woo.
That's a thing that happened. Gabe.
Hey man, Heart Attack Grill. Check it out if you're ever in Vegas.
Absolutely.
Oh, they serve Jello shots too.
Oh man, shit. Sounds like a lot of bad decisions are gonna be made.
Oh yeah.
At the Heart Attack Grill in Las Vegas. But yeah, we are back. Gabe, how was your week, buddy?
It was good. It was good. It was kind of in anticipation because we're T-minus 12 hours till we leave.
Oh.
So for Disney, for
Okay.
the House of Mouse. And I don't know if you knew this, but in addition to a build your own lightsaber thing, they got a build your own droid now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like half the price of the lightsaber. So if there's room and we got some time, I think I might just squeeze into that.
Well, I know they give you two options. They give you the BB-8 option and they give you the R2 unit.
option, yeah.
Which one are you doing?
I think I'm leaning towards the R2 option and just deck it out in like black.
Yeah.
And so it's Bluetooth remote controlled. And the cool thing is if you take it around Galaxy's Edge with you, it'll interact with stuff in the park. And depending on its personality chip, right, it'll interact differently. So if you go to a part of the park that's heavily like dark side users and you have like a light side personality chip or like a timid chip in it, it'll be like scared and stuff. You're like, woo.
That's interesting.
That's dedication, devotion, creativity.
Hey, man. Say what you want about Disney acquiring, Lucasfilms and Star Wars, but fuck, that's awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. So I don't know. I don't know which chip I want yet. I kind of want to explore and see.
Yeah.
The lightsaber is cool, but I kind of told Maddie, I was like, well, it's $200 for one. That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And two, it's gonna get home and it's gonna sit there because I don't have like a display case, or we don't even have room for that at the moment, just because I got so much shit. But figure with the robot.
Well, it's not even just. Well, to me, like the physical lightsaber is obviously what you're paying for, but also is the experience of like going through the whole spiel, because I've watched it and it's very, very cool. Super cool, and I think you really enjoy it. So I hope you come back with the lightsaber. I kind of have an idea what you're gonna go with.
Which one? I already have my lightsaber parts picked out.
Do you? You already picked the one?
I looked through the whole Galaxy's Edge gift shop.
Okay.
If it's any consolation.
Did you go for power?
No.
Did you go the natural one?
No, not the natural one.
Oh yeah, I thought you would totally do like the Rancor too.
That's a pretty cool lightsaber build. I don't think it fits my aesthetic.
Which one are you doing then?
The dark side user shit.
Okay. That's power.
Is that power?
Yeah,
the chromium black. Yeah.
Yeah, that's power. Are you gonna go red?
Well, they got the silver and black options too.
No, they don't.
In the gift shop, yeah.
They have the black, the black. What's my
crystal?
The crystal, but it
crystal.
Still comes back red though.
Well, from my understanding, you plug that into the lightsaber and it'll change the color.
No, but I'm saying the crystal itself is black, but it still shoots out red.
Huh.
Yeah. So.
Interesting.
But you could take a look around and see what you want to do with it. Yeah, I got my own thing I'm gonna work on right now. But yeah, so yeah, that's are you excited? Because I know you're not like the craziest Disney person on the planet, but are you excited at least?
Hey man, work was rough. Vacation is a vacation, so I'll take it.
This is true. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this stuff. So we have a little bit of an agenda today. Opening up with Escape Room. You remember this movie? Did you?
Yeah, I think it's roughly based around a true story because in Poland there was a case where some kids got locked in an escape room and the whole thing burned down.
Oh, okay.
So it's because I know this is like a thriller horror thing where there's like a murderer, but it's loosely based on real, very loosely.
Yeah, I got you. Absolutely. So we did I watched it. I watched it after the podcast last week, and when we turned it on, I immediately expected it to be like hot garbage.
Yeah.
I love the concept, but I just feel like the execution would have been kind of
cheesy,
shitty.
tacky.
Yeah, shitty, cheesy, tacky. But with that being said, I was like pleasantly surprised with how much fun it was. Right. I think if you dig too deep, I think eventually you'll start to see some big holes. But at the surface level, it is a fine thriller. Thriller movie, horror movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean, nothing over the top bloody, but there are elements of like almost like purgeness.
Sure.
In the mix of that. And it's kind of awesome. So, like I said, not the greatest film of all time, but definitely not a total waste of time if you go ahead and watch it. So if you're interested in that, it's on Xfinity right now. So it's on demand if you want to go ahead and check that out. I would recommend. I would give it like because it's movies, so we do a grading scale. I'd give it like a
C.
Yeah, C plus B minus.
Okay, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not god awful. There was definitely some acting that was like a little shoddy, but somewhat believable. They have some likable characters that are in there. They also have kind of like a bad guy in the mix of it too, so it's kind of interesting. A good mix of characters, and overall not a horrible experience. And I like those kind of movies that if you step out from the outside or you step back, you can kind of like figure out the puzzles pieces yourself. Yeah. And this was one of those movies that kind of maybe put a little bit too much thought or more thought than you would think from this style of film. So I would definitely check it out. If you're a fan of escape rooms, which I want to get back into it, or if you like kind of psychological horror, I think it's a good
stuff.
film.
So you're just doing everything you can to avoid watching Kingsman, huh?
I guess, man.
Yeah. How long have I loaned you that movie for?
Probably like 4 or 5 months at this point.
Yeah, and then how long has Viva La Bam been sitting there?
Probably a while.
Yeah. Get on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, I just bought a new Blu-ray player so I can watch.
Oh, did you just get a regular ass Blu-ray player?
Yeah, because
things are fucking expensive, man.
Well, yeah, I didn't
like
realize,
$100.
I didn't realize that because my PlayStation was in the living room and it went down in a blaze of glory. So I didn't have a Blu-ray player in the living room, and I don't want to really sit here by myself and watch Viva La Bam. I think that's kind of lame. So I've been kind of holding off on it. But now that we got a Blu-ray back, we might have to get into it. You know?
Did you get a nice Wi-Fi one or just standard?
Get the Wi-Fi one. We didn't get it wasn't like the most expensive one in the world. I think Walmart was having a deal. So I'm like, let's grab it because Lord knows how long it's gonna be inexpensive again. Because like I said, I did not realize Blu-rays were not cheap like that.
When we were getting to that phase where all these consoles came with a DVD player and then a Blu-ray player, it was phenomenal because I think I still have my VHS player at home. I think we never fucking got rid of that thing.
Okay.
And then my dad still has like our OG DVD player that doesn't take Blu-ray because those shits weren't cheap back in the day.
No, they weren't. No, definitely not. And like I said, I remember the era when Blu-ray started becoming a little bit more prominent, you would see DVD players for like $20. You're like, yeah,
awesome,
sweet. And now I was thinking in my head that we were at that point with Blu-ray players, but apparently not.
Now wait till the 4K stuff starts getting around the $100 price point, and then Blu-rays are going to be like $20-$30.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have to wait and see.
2-3 more years, man.
Yeah, but while I was at Walmart, I texted this to you, and I was like 2 seconds away from buying it,
making a big financial mistake.
Yeah, but honestly, the only thing that was preventing me from doing so was the fact that I still owe you some cash.
Yeah,
otherwise I would have it up here ready to go. But yeah, so Adrian's like, well, maybe for your birthday, we'll see what happens. I'm like, well.
So is it a full-size replica cabinet of?
It's slightly.
Well, let the listeners know what the fuck we're talking about first and foremost.
Yeah, sorry, really really bad host. So Walmart has this exclusive Arcade 1 Mortal Kombat cabinet, right? Now, the cabinet is slightly shrunken down because obviously you know how big and bulky arcade cabinets can get. This one's slightly shrunken down, doesn't take up as much space.
Well, how big we talking? Like 4 feet tall?
Yeah, about 4 feet tall, maybe 4.5 feet tall.
Like 2.5 wide, probably?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And they have a riser that you can buy that makes it like more appropriate height. So yeah, just about that, and it comes with MKA1, MK2, and UMK3 booted up onto the bitch. So
well, it has to be emulation, right?
Yeah. It's an emulator, but it's arcade perfect.
Okay.
So everything you can do on the arcade machine, even with like the secret menus and stuff like that, you can do on this machine as well. And especially with UMK3, if you want to get rid of some of those
your crazy ass inputs.
Well, not even just that, but if you can access the hidden characters through the test menus and stuff like that, you can able to unlock them, and they'll be available from the jump. And it's also the keyboard or the what's called the arcade stick itself is modifiable. You could change some of the aspects if you want. For $300, not the cheapest thing in the world, but I know there's people out there who invest a lot of money to these Arcade 1 cabinets because they do well. They are pretty what's the word I'm looking for?
Good sellers.
Yeah, pretty good sellers, and they're true to kind of what they represent. So maybe one day I'll be able to get my hands on it. Hopefully by the time I'm like, okay, I'm willing to take that jump, that they're still out there and readily available.
It's funny that you mentioned that because Ed Boon on Twitter, somebody posted that they have an MK11 cabinet at one of these bars downtown in Chicago.
I actually saw the guy who made it. He has a YouTube channel. And the guy built it from scratch.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's in there? Is there an Xbox in there?
No, it's a PlayStation. It's a PlayStation in there. Yeah, it's a PlayStation. But yeah, I actually just saw that video last night where the guy built it from scratch. Cut the wood himself because he built his own home arcade unit.
Yeah,
his whole channel is about like kind of do-it-yourself projects where it's like really good and really impressive looking. He built like a movie marquee and stuff like that. Like it's really cool. And yeah, he built this thing up from scratch. Got the vinyl from them. He sized it out and had it put together and
That's
built.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was really good looking.
I think we'll probably sell for a lot if you ever decide to get rid of it.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. It'll most likely be a collector's item because I think at this point it's probably one of a kind, right? You'd imagine.
Well, until Midway starts or NRS, starts cranking them out by themselves, if they ever do.
Yeah, Lord knows.
I'd imagine probably towards the end of the cycle you'll be able to see it in like Galloping Ghost or whatever because they do have MKX.
You said that, but I never saw it. I never saw it in there.
They have it in there.
It's in there?
It's in there. It's in there somewhere. I know I saw it, and I know I played. And I was like, I can't fucking play this with the joystick.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah, it's hard.
Absolutely. So that was kind of a cool little
Quick little story before we dive into the next thing. I know we're still on movies and we're talking about games.
No, it's
but
fine.
I was in an arcade in Indiana one day, and I think I was like 12 or 13.
Okay.
And I was like real decent at UMK3 because that was like my first Mortal Kombat game, right?
Okay.
And so I was just mopping the floor with these kids. They didn't know what to do, right? And this one kid, he was like 6'1". He was maybe like 16, 17, smelled like cigarettes, and he's like, let's go. And so this dude pulled the stupid Shang Tsung morph combo on me, where he morphs into like smoke and all these fucking characters and just mopped the floor. I couldn't get a hit on him, and I was like, I'm done. I'm going home.
Yeah, lesson learned on that one, huh?
Yeah.
You thought you were a god for a second.
Yeah, and then you got a dude that knows like a 640 button input combo for a round that lasts less than a minute.
Hey, man, it is what it is. But all right, let's go ahead and slide back into this agenda real quick because we hopped out. So Kevin Smith, we talked about this previously about this IP that he's had his hands on that people would be shocked that he's writing for. All right, so this is He-Man, Masters of the Universe, right? Essentially, it's going to be an anime, so from the same people who did Castlevania. They're going to take the He-Man premise and kind of roll with it. Kevin Smith, Mark Bernardin, and a whole bunch of other writers are kind of taking it and running with it, and gonna do their own thing. So, He-Man, Masters of the Universe, produced and written by Kevin Smith. I think it's gonna be kind of dope. What do you think?
Well, he grew up around that time when He-Man Masters of the Universe was like a big property and it was doing really well. So I think it's suiting. It's in the same vein of how we talked about Danny McBride and the Halloween stuff. How he grew up with it, so he knows its essence. He knows what it should be. Yeah. And in terms of modernizing it. Have you seen the Castlevania anime on Netflix?
No, I never took.
The first season is 4 episodes. It's a real good watch. And Dracula is one of the best developed characters in 5 episodes. And it's like they do him so grossly well in like an hour and a half as compared to so many other anime I watch that take like, I don't know, like 30 episodes to develop a villain. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, first season's 4 episodes. Check it out because I know you're not into the whole anime scene, but
absolutely,
I think it's an easy enough property to slide into.
Okay, cool. So definitely, because Kevin Smith turned in the first, or the very first episode, I think 2 weeks ago Monday. So I imagine around some point next year, early next year, it'll probably be dropping. I'd imagine take some time to work on those things. So sure. I'm looking forward to it. He announced it at PowerCon, which I guess He-Man has its own con.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Who would have thought that? And I'm excited for him because I like the guy. Obviously, big fan of his work, everything he's done previously, and up to this point, I'm a big fan of it. Even the bad stuff, he admits it that they're all bad, but
it's important, man.
Yeah. So more power to him, and I'm looking forward to it. All right, moving along. So another big property that me and Gabe care a whole lot about and have been talking about a whole lot about for the last 5 years has announced its next installment. James Bond. No Time to Die, April 2020, April 8th, I think it was the official date. Daniel Craig is back.
Should have done it for 2020.
Oh.
Anyway.
And
then at the end, he wakes up in his bed, but it's Mike Myers dressed up as Austin. No, I'm going to stop right there.
So, finally announced the date and got a title. Looks like it's going to be Daniel Craig's final Bond. I'm looking forward to it, and it's a very classic sounding Bond title. No Time to Die, like that's like the most Bond thing in the history of Bond.
I wanted to touch on the title thing a little bit because here's my thing, right? When you hear a Bond title, it's supposed to sound relatively cool, kind of. We all have our favorite Bond title, right? Octopussy, whatever it may be. Yeah. We all have one that we really enjoy. But then I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, well, do we like it because of the title, or do we enjoy it because the movie was good? You know what I mean?
I think there's a combination of both. I think. Like, for instance, GoldenEye, like that's like the most perfect name for that particular satellite thing that was
right. But like, let's say you haven't heard, you haven't seen the movie before, and you think GoldenEye, like what is it that comes to your head? You know what I mean? Because my prime example was Skyfall, right? It's in my opinion, I think it's a very cool, subtle name that very eloquently expresses what that movie is about. But my opinion is that because I've seen the movie, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of the cat and mouse game where
so you can't separate it.
What is it, like a good title because it's a good title, or is it a good title because the movie was also good?
And then made it a good title.
It's this kind of thing because think about your favorite Bond film and then think about the title, Quantum of Solace or Casino Royale, whatever it may be.
How dare you, sir, if I could throw Quantum of Solace at me?
Because that's the oddball. Quantum of Solace is a good name, but it's not a good movie. That's the oddball out. Yeah. But like, look at Casino Royale. What a badass name, right? Yeah. This kind of nuanced noir introduction to Bond kind of thing. But then it's like, well, shit, those thoughts are coming from the movie itself, not the title. Yeah, I got you. Okay, yeah, it's this Tom and Jerry bullshit that keeps bouncing in my head, man.
So for you, does this title land?
I like the title, No Time to Die. I mean, it makes sense, and it's fitting to the Bond format of titles, but I think it'll come down to whether this movie is good or not, because I feel like I could hate this title if I need to.
Sounds like a Suicide Silence song, but I'm not going to get into
Time
it.
to Die.
Yeah.
Pre-Mitch, or I'm sorry, post-Mitch, or?
With Mitch.
With Mitch,
Yeah, definitely a with Mitch. Anyway, so yeah, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be, it's going to be awesome. So next topic coming up, this made the internet explode a little bit. So Sony and Disney can not agree on new terms to have Spider-Man continue to be part of the MCU moving forward. So Spider-Man is out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like I said, the internet kind of exploded with this. Now there's memes left and right about it. What do you think, man?
Well, all right, because I liked the OG Spider-Man with Topher Grace. Or Tobey Maguire, I'm sorry.
That's the third time you've done that on this podcast.
Man, look at those two side by side. Anyway, Tobey Maguire, I like those, but Spider-Man seems to have this kind of curse where it can't hit a fourth movie. You notice that? None of the Spider-Mans have ever gotten a 4.
2 out of the 3 haven't got a third.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. And I think that Tom Holland was a great Spider-Man. I think they finally did it right.
Yep.
And I don't know what went down between Disney and Sony, but whatever, man.
This is the understanding. The understanding is that, it was time to redo the agreement. Disney was getting 5% of the money that was made back for the film, because they were only contributing a mild amount of money to making it, right? So they get 5% back, and they get all of the merchandise for it, right? So this time up, Disney's like, well, we'll co-finance it with you 50-50, split it down the middle, and we split all the profits. And Sony didn't like that. Sony didn't want it. Sony didn't want to do it.
Let's wait till they fuck it up again, and then Disney will buy it.
Well, that was the thing. I guess one of the Sony executives, top guys, is like, well, we've learned enough from Kevin Feige. We know how to do this now.
Everybody says that, but when Kevin Feige isn't there, statistically speaking and historically speaking,
So
unless you bring back Raimi.
and that's what I was saying. I think I said it in the channel. I said it to my wife. I'm like, it's funny that he says that. I'm like, but everything from Spider-Man 2 in between that and the Spider-Verse has been trash. Spider-Man 3 was bad. Andrew Garfield,
and it's not necessarily the way the movies are shot or the actors or anything. It's the writing.
It's the writing.
It is indeed the writing.
The writing is bad. So the internet blew up. For obvious reasons. People are taking their sides. I think it is abundantly clear where I probably fall in all this. But I guess there's a side to every story, and I guess we'll never be able to understand exactly what Sony sees and why they're so adamant on keeping the deal as it was. Obviously, money is probably the big deal, but I know Sony's stock took a hit after this announced. And kind of crazy, man.
It's kind of funny because off the success of the last Spider-Man game, you'd think that you'd want the Spider-Man movies to do really well to hype it up for the next PS4 Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
With, ideally Tom Holland, but that's not going to happen now.
Yeah. No, Tom Holland's contracted to Sony. He's not contracted to Disney.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he has an out. If he doesn't want to, he can't. He doesn't have to. So I think he's trying to play it cool. I think he will return as Spider-Man just due to the fact that he is lined up to play Nathan Drake right now. And that is also a Sony property. I think he doesn't want to bite the hand that feeds.
He's walking on eggshells.
Yeah, he doesn't want to bite the hands that feeds necessarily.
I'm sure if Sony doesn't want him, Disney will take him.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Make him a young version of Star-Lord. Do a Star-Lord prequel with Tom Holland as Chris Pratt.
Hey, actually,
that's not a bad idea,
that's
right?
Actually, not too
Just
bad.
lighten up his hair a bit, and you got it.
That's not too bad, actually.
It works.
That's not pretty
right,
good.
and then they can make like an "I eat so many cheeseburgers" joke. Because Chris Pratt in that first Guardians movie was kind of chunky.
Pretty good.
You heard it here first, folks.
That's actually not a bad idea. That's actually
right. That works, right? They have similar personalities.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But they're actually doing that one movie together with in Pixar, that Troll movie or whatever.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they got that lined up. But we'll see how this pans out. I don't imagine that we've heard the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
I do imagine that. Believe
this is just the beginning.
I do believe that they'll probably come to some kind of agreement.
I think the next blow is going to be when Marvel tries to license games on the PlayStation. And they're going to be like, hey, and I think there's going to be some bad blood there.
Yeah, well, but, you can't really fuck around with Disney.
Yeah, I know, because you're going to get bought out.
Yeah, definitely. And that was like the joke. Obviously, everybody's like, well, I'm gonna buy you too, then, motherfucker. But
all right. Well, speaking about jokes, let's get into the Matrix 4. So the Matrix movie, the OG came out in 1999, and it was a world-changing movie.
Absolutely.
Do you know the story of Keanu Reeves and how he got paid for this movie?
No.
The execs were like, "Hey, we'll give you like $10 million up front, or whatever, some amount." And Keanu was like, "Nah, how about you give me a percentage of the revenue?" And it was like something like, I don't know, like 3%. Don't quote me on this because I don't know the exact numbers or the exact percentages. But he said, "Give me a certain percent." And they thought that this movie was going to flop.
Yeah.
And so he made like 100 times over what he would have if fucking he took the upfront payment.
You can't be mad at him for that.
Yeah. So we got a Matrix 4 movie in the works. Well, we know how the last two went, but
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna stop. Why does everybody hate those two movies so much?
I don't hate Revolution. I don't hate the last two, but they just didn't live up to
that's fair.
the Matrix name.
Now that's fair, but I feel like they're kind of the punching bag. I mean, there's one thing for it to be like a horribly shitty film, and and kind of ruin it. But I wouldn't say it ruined it. It's just it was not as good. But
it was unnecessary addition.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't as good. I definitely give you that. I mean, you can't. Let's face it. Matrix 1 is probably one of the most revolutionary films of all time. I put it in the same category as Roger Rabbit. I put it in the same category as Jurassic Park, Titanic. Like, this changed the way we made films, like, straight up. And so you got to give them credit for that. But I don't really hate those two so much. Like, the Revolutions was Reloaded I liked a little bit more. But
it was like Blade Trinity. It wasn't necessarily a terrible movie to begin with, but it's just because it didn't live up to that quality standard. You know what I mean?
That's
like, what
true.
if you're buying the same product that you always have been for the past like year or so, and suddenly they change the formula on you, and they charge more? You're gonna be upset, aren't you?
This is true. But yeah, so they are working on it. I have mixed feelings about this.
I guess Keanu's back on board.
Keanu's coming back. The lady who played Trinity is coming back.
They aged really well.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Lawrence Fishburne yet, so I guess we'll have to wait and see on that as far as being Morpheus and how that works out. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, I'd imagine it's probably 2 or 3 years down the line, right?
Put Morpheus's head in a jar. I think that'd work for his character.
Put his head in a jar.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
It's just an idea, right? And carry him around.
Yeah, I guess.
Think about like Lawrence Fishburne in a green morph suit from the neck down. And then when you see the behind the scenes shit, it's gonna be like Keanu like hugging him, like in a headlock. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic. Matrix 4, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
But speaking about keeping you posted, in October we get the Joker movie, and it is rated R.
Yes, the nerds have screamed from the top of the heavens because they're so stoked about this, and we are too here at the Second City Kids podcast. But yeah, Joker officially getting that hard R rating. I think we couldn't have it any other way, right?
Yeah, I think with the way they're going, it was necessary to have that R.
Yeah, definitely. So, much hype for this film. Like you said, coming out in October. We got only a couple more months, and then we'll be able to watch it and review it for you lovely folks who are listening to the Second City Kids podcast. But, we're excited for this. Just a quick little note on that. Yes, Joker has got that hard R.
Joaquin Phoenix, let's rock and roll because I'm excited.
Yeah, should be good.
Good stuff. So I'm actually going to modify this thing. You could start with Lady and the Tramp, but I'm going to cover a whole slew of Disney Plus news that we got from D23 last night.
Yeah, so I was going to add some of that. But yeah, so Lady and the Tramp is kind of its next in the line as far as live action remakes. However, I'm going to take a total polar opposite opinion on this. This actually looked pretty good. I'm actually okay with this one because the dogs kind of actually look like dogs, except when they're not doing dog things and they start to talk. Now, I'm not going to say that it's necessary. It's definitely not. It'll never be necessary. But as far as all the Disney properties that have been live action remade so far, this is one I'm probably the most on board with. And yes, it is a Disney Plus exclusive. It will not be coming to theaters. And Disney Plus getting stacked down with more material. Gabe, I'm sure you got a stack of things you want to talk about.
Yeah, so let's start off with the Star Wars ones. Obi-Wan series confirmed with Ewan McGregor.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, Disney, thank you.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian, which is great. We actually covered.
Did you see the trailer?
No, I didn't see the trailer. I'm going in blind. I don't want nothing to do with that. We actually covered a big section of the Mandalorian history on the Exploration podcast. So if you kind of want to know the gist of what they're about, check that out.
Absolutely.
We get. Oh shit! I lost my train of thought. We get a new Lizzie McGuire movie, which was an interesting choice.
Absolutely, it's actually absolutely fantastic because Hilary Duff is returning as Lizzie McGuire.
I just thought it was kind of out of the blue,
Yeah,
like she's been in obscurity for 10 years.
But
now?
you also have to keep in mind that she's like one of the very few child actors that fucking didn't like lose their fucking mind during that time
That's
period.
true.
So she's actually kind of stayed relatively pure, minus the whole blowjob thing. But we're not gonna get into that.
We're getting a Phineas and Ferb movie, which is another interesting choice.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about Phineas the band from Illinois that opened up for Vanna. Anyway, we're getting a High School Musical series. Okay. It makes sense.
Fine.
Toy Story spinoff with Forky.
Okay. I'm
He
with
asks,
that.
apparently he asks incredibly endearing questions, like difficult questions.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
We get Monsters at Work, which takes place right after Monsters Inc.
Okay. Cool.
We get Marvel What Ifs.
That's dope.
So yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool. I personally like the Futurama, like What If, the great What If things.
Okay.
I love those kind of weird spin-off things that don't have anything to do with anything. We get Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yep.
We get WandaVision.
Yep.
We get Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and She-Hulk.
Cool. She-Hulk is a big one. Yeah.
Yeah. We get Jeff Goldblum and Kristen Bell leading a reality show on Disney Plus.
That's
I
cool.
love Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, I love Kristen Bell.
Obviously, the live-action Lady and the Tramp.
Yep.
And then the big one, the Muppets. I totally forgot Muppets.
That's fucking epic too.
It's supposedly unscripted and celebrity-filled Muppet show. So
give me those goddamn Muppet movies on the Disney Plus.
Yeah, right.
I'm all over it.
We get all the vaulted Disney movies on Disney Plus, obviously, but I think that's important to mention.
Yep.
Can we get like Chris Pratt or like Jeff Goldblum with the Muppets? Wouldn't that be hilarious?
Yeah. Well, Jason Segel did a pretty good job with it. When
Jason Segel did a great job.
that fucking Muppet movie from a couple of years ago was fucking a hoot. I love that movie. It was so good.
We get I totally forgot this one, but we get the Clone Wars, February 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it's the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the big ones. In addition to this, they're not doing the Netflix binge model. No, they're doing the old-fashioned way, which I kind of miss, where you get a new episode every week.
That's good.
And I kind of miss that because it was, when TV was around, it's like if you miss it, you miss it. But now it's...
Well, it's smart for the following reason because, like you said, it is kind of old school TV, which is awesome.
Retention.
And retention's the big one. You're not going to be able to sign up for a month, watch the whole show, then get the fuck out like most of these,
And I'm sure they're planning like 26 episode, 24 episode seasons for a majority of this stuff.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to just sign up and watch your show and get the fuck out unless you want to wait like long term, in which case, I mean, more power to you. But
yeah, man, lots of good stuff coming up on Disney Plus. And like I said, man, $13 with ESPN and Hulu. How are you going to top that? Netflix got to start cranking out some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
to keep up.
It's going to require more than Stranger Things and Sabrina for us to.
Well, Mindhunter is also pretty proper. I don't know if you've seen that.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's the origin story of how the behavioral investigation unit started in the FBI.
Really?
And so it goes through the early days. They interview people like Ed Kemper, I almost said Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson, and serial killers of that nature.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty good. Has a good story. I just caught up with season 2. Check that out.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think they'll announce Black Panther 2 too. They gave a date on that, I believe, from Disney 23, and they showed us the new Star Wars poster, which looks epic, with Palpatine in the background.
Yeah. We're still gonna see it. I just, I mentioned to you that if 8 wasn't such a shit show, I think there'd be just an unsurmountable amount of hype behind this.
For sure. I mean, they've been pretty radio silent about the whole thing. I mean, we got that teaser a couple months ago, and then
I'm sure we're gonna get something in like late September, maybe October. Another trailer.
They probably drop it like on a Monday Night Football, like they did with 8. I'm sure, like they dropped the trailer and all that. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Football season is coming back around, so this is usually when like all those big movies get announced, so they could top it off on.
This is also usually the time when Jacob is really cranky on Sundays.
Well, we'll see. Hopefully, I'm not so cranky this year. I got my fantasy draft coming up next week, so I'm gonna be fucking locked in.
Let's rake in that dough.
Yeah, gotta make in that dough. So
speaking about raking in dough, let's open up some loot boxes because we're talking about gaming. You like that? You like that transition?
That was good. I like
buttery smooth.
I like that.
Lather me up in Crisco and chase me around the house. No, don't do that. It's kind of. Anyway, what the fuck is Ember Rise?
So you don't know what this is?
This one eluded me this week, unfortunately.
So this is actually the new season from Rainbow Six.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Now I'm familiar.
Yeah.
I looked at the name and I didn't register it.
Yeah. So Ember Rise is the new season of Rainbow coming up. I think it's starting in a couple of weeks. They announced a wide variety of things. Canal rework, which looks
finally. Oh my god.
Fucking fucking beautiful. It looks really good. It looks like a lot of fun. Along with the new ops, Goyo and what's the name of the other one?
I don't know.
Adamarasu? No, that's the fucking Smite character. Whatever the fucking name is. What Goyo does is he has something called the Vulcan Shield. He's able to place it down in front of doorways, and it's basically what's it called?
It modifies a shield, or what does it do?
It's a modified shield that you could shoot the back of, and it'll blow up and start a fire, and it lasts for 12 seconds. So it's like a way of like shutting down like a way in.
Corridor or something.
Yeah. So imagine if you have 15 seconds left and somebody blows up a Vulcan shield, you ain't getting in that way, bro. So yeah,
Oh, man.
yeah. So
This is gonna be like a hard counter to Monty. Holy shit.
yeah. He's a lockdown kind of defender, and it's also it synergizes with Capkin so well because you could throw nades at it and it'll blow up, et cetera, et cetera. So if somebody's coming in through the window and the Capkin blows up and it catches the fucking thing, and you're not living through that. You're done. You're not.
Bring Capkin back to A tier.
Yeah. So that's gonna be good stuff. Also, he's 2 armor, 2 speed. He's got the fucking vector.
Love the vector.
It looks absolutely insane on a 2/2. So
Can we get the vector on attackers?
right?
For offense.
So the other character, she has a grappling hook.
Cool.
So it allows her to climb buildings faster and travel like through like windows fast. Like you don't have to rappel up anymore. You can just fucking kick in, and next thing you know, you're in the fucking building. So that's kind of a cool thing. It also allows you to climb up hatches as an attacker. So that's kind of dope, I guess.
Oh, you think that's going to see more competitive or casual play?
That's totally casual to me.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because the whole hatch thing kind of no real gadget, I'm sure, is impeding. But if you have somebody like your crazy fraggers are going to rock this operator.
Yeah. So she's definitely more of a casual thing, and I think that's what a lot of people are saying is that Goyo is the kind of that thinking man, that more competitive kind of op. Meanwhile, there's always one of them. There's always one that's for the competitive.
That's going to last.
Yeah, there's always one that's kind of like a
Maestro alibi.
Yeah.
We know which one stuck it out.
Yeah, a gimmick. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think you should kind of cater to both, and they're doing that with this season. The Canal Rework is fucking dope. What else? A bunch of UI changes coming up through the pipeline. It looks good. Looks like it's going to be a good season.
Also, some shitty changes because they're having the cosmetic season pass now.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a total shit show, and people are freaking out about it.
Yeah.
So in addition to the $20 game, you have to have the year pass for the operators and the maps to get them early.
Yep.
And granted, this cosmetic pass is merely a cosmetic pass, but still, if you want full content, you're essentially spending what, another $50 every year to keep this going?
Yeah.
And then that's not even including the seasonal like Halloween packs or the theme packs, where you kind of have to buy them.
Yeah, there's no way of earning them.
Yeah,
this is true. So yeah, that's what I think. That's kind of what everybody was talking about, and they got upset about was this new battle pass thing, which is very
Operation Health 2 coming your way.
Yeah, it's very typical of what's going on in gaming
Listen,
right now.
I have no problem if you want to buy your nice skins and stuff, but simply because the fact that if you want 100% of this content, you're going to have to drop at least an additional $50 every year in addition to whatever you spend on the game, because you spent the full $60, I spent $20 twice,
Yeah.
So that's kind of the issue I'm seeing here, where this game is doing the long haul and it's working well, but some of these changes are not for quality of life.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just a way of sucking more money out of this.
And it feels like it too.
Yeah. So, I mean, I give them the credit because a lot of these battle passes come with the free version that you don't have to pay for, and obviously there's the premium one that you have to pay for. But to me, my ultimate issue is that why would I, if I'm paying for it, I don't want the opportunity to get it. I want to get it. If I'm paying for something, I don't want to have to grind out the game too. Like, these two things don't operate in my head. So, I mean, whatever. I don't really care much for cosmetics when it comes to Siege. They're nice, but I don't really care.
I like my Thermite Halloween skin is probably my favorite fucking skin.
The guy with the eyeballs.
The stupid ass eyeballs. Because I always get caught up by like a Capkin trap or some dumb shit, and then my buddies will be like, "Look at his fucking face," and he's like, "Ah!" It's just so. Or when I'm first in the victory lap round, they're like, "Oh my god."
I mean, fair enough. I mean, like, I get it, but
what it looks like when you eat your girl out on her period. It's like covered in the blood.
So yeah, like I said, I'm not too upset about it. I know people are. Like I said, cosmetics are important to me when it comes to Siege. The operators and the maps are.
Vote with your wallet, people.
Yeah. So do what you want. I mean,
Quick little tidbit. I do think I had this thought when I was driving the other day. I was thinking that Rainbow Six Siege is probably going to be one of the first games that's ported over to the next generation.
Yeah.
It makes sense because the longevity is there.
Yep.
And I think the love is there, the community is there, and I think it'll do well. And I think it'll be one of those early release titles.
I have a hard time seeing Ubisoft jumping off this train because it's going so well.
Yeah, I mean they turned this ship around the full 180. You know, why let it sink now?
Yeah, and I had I agree with you. I don't see the next console generation being the end of it. Now I just wish there's a way, hopefully they figure out a way to carry your shit over.
Well, I'm assuming if you have a PS4 now and you buy the PS5, I'm assuming you can carry over your gamer tag or your Sony ID.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that's the way they do it. So if you have your shit on like Sony, you know, if they have like a little thing in addition to that, like, hey, he has this, and that, you'll just auto unlock it in this one, in the new gen. I think that would make the most sense.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. But yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, like a lot of these styles of games have gone free to play. I'm surprised they never went that route.
They do every once in a while, like a free weekend.
Yeah, like a free weekend, which is a way to get people in. You know, it's an infection vector, but you know, I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. Before we get on to the next thing, I actually went to that GameStop in LaGrange, by the way.
Yeah, how was it?
It's actually nice. It's a nice little place. They have the kind of the hot sauce model where they have games off the wall that you can pull down and play, which is awesome. I picked up Keyforge, which has finally fucking happened. It's got a starter pack. It's $25. It was nice.
Which what store was this?
It's called Fair Game. It's in LaGrange.
Cool.
You know, got to talk to the guy inside of the store. He seemed like a nice guy. And I'm hopefully I'll be able to frequent it a little bit more often. Try to bring back games into my life outside of the video games. Talk about like board games and stuff like that. So Keyforge, I got. Me and Adrian are gonna get into that.
So what is the premise of Keyforge?
Keyforge is it's made by the guy who created Magic. Every deck is pre-built. You can't modify the deck. They don't want you to do that. Every deck is unique. You know, no two decks are built exactly the same. It's all randomized stuff. So that's basically the gist of it. And as far as like, you know, obviously if you got to score a certain amount of points and you win the game. So I'm learning it. I've started to read the quick start guide.
So this Keyforge is to Magic what LaCroix is to Sprite. Yeah,
maybe. I don't know. I have to play it.
Like Magic Light.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to play.
I mean, you know the game I want to get.
What's the game?
The big dog, Twilight Imperium.
Yeah, so Gabe's like, yeah, he's like, but I hear it's like, what did you say? You said like 6 hours or something like that.
Well, you need a minimum of 3 to 6. Well, 3 minimum players up to 6. And so apparently, I haven't played it. I haven't dived into the rules or anything. I just looked up reviews, and there's like 2 or 3 reviews that are under half an hour. So they're like, one of them is like a 5-minute review, and so I was like, all right, let's see this. Let's see the general gist about this game. And so it's a galactic conquest game, has a lot of politics, has a lot of conquering. It feels like a full like galactic exploration thing.
Okay.
And every video that I've seen about this, they said this game could take a couple hours, but more likely than not, you'll need a full day's worth of playing. But they said that you'll build such memories and such scenarios that you will not forget them for the rest of your life. Yeah, I know. It's a commitment. And I already feel like Monopoly is a fucking commitment.
Yeah.
Like a 4-hour game is about average for when we fuck around and play.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think I might need to like buy this thing, find a few innocent souls, lock ourselves in a basement, provide water, food, and just go.
All right, Gabe. So I'll say this. If you manage to buy that copy and you want to lock a couple of lost souls into your basement so we can play this game, sign me up.
Good copy.
Yeah, I'll be in that party. I promise.
Hey, you remember when Miguel bought that? What was it? Dead of Winter. It was like $100 board game that he got Amazon Instant delivered because they're over by the warehouse.
Yeah.
And we were all pretty smashed, and we were like reading the rules.
We're like,
Jake, I'm too drunk to play this.
And we're all like, can we just play like Resistance or something?
Yeah, can we play something we know?
Yeah, something we know, something we don't have to.
Ripperoni Mastacholi.
Yeah, and we still haven't touched it actually.
That's funny as hell. Talking about not touching it. Dead by Daylight.
So Dead by Daylight is going to have another killer coming out because, you know, Dead by Daylight, it's the asymmetrical. You're a killer. You got to kill the survivors. And they're having Stranger Things DLC coming out. So I thought that was kind of cool. But, yeah, I won't touch it.
Good stuff.
Just wanted to report on that. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Talk about not touching it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
How do we feel about the alpha for Modern Warfare?
Have you played any of this?
I have not, no.
All right. So
Have you?
I have.
Oh, okay. So we got some firsthand smoke in the building.
Yeah, so I probably put 2 hours into it. I think that's a fair amount of time for an alpha. So it comes with the gunfight game mode. This is a 2v2 randomized class game mode, which is actually a pretty good way to sell the game because it gives you a little bit of everything. You get to touch a little bit of everything. Everything's modified a little bit differently every single time around. I think there's like 5 maps or something like that comes along with it.
That's kind of a lot for an alpha.
Yeah. Not bad. I mean, they're relatively small maps, so I'm sure.
Yeah.
For the 2v2 game mode. Got my hands on it. It plays it feels fucking silky smooth, like butter.
That's good.
And we talked about previously how the sound design or how everything sounds
They
like.
use 6 different microphones at varying lengths to capture the true sound of the guns.
Yeah, and you could feel it. I put my studio headphones on, like, let me fucking, I have
Let
to
me
hear
experience.
it. Yeah, let me experience it. And it fucking
bangs.
Fucking feels like you're fucking shooting an actual gun. It's fucking sick. The gameplay plays. It's definitely a slower pace Call of Duty. You feel heavy. You're gone are the days of being able to slide, jump off the walls,
YY off the ladder.
Yeah, those days are over with. This feels like simulated combat, which I'm okay with.
Does it feel heavier than like a 1-speed in Rainbow Six? Just about the same.
Just about the same.
Okay.
Just about the same. When you walk around, when you run around, you could hear it. Okay. And that's another thing that, like I said, giving credit to the sound design, because I was able to hear people like walk around above me, and it's kind of good. It's good situational awareness. The guns feel great. I do like the kind of different, unique weapon choices that they gave you in the gunfight mode. Now, I do find it a little bit redundant. I don't know if that's necessarily a game mode that I would be playing a whole lot of, but it's a good way to kind of get a sample size for the game. I'm looking forward to it. The map design was very cool. I liked the difference, because I feel like in Call of Duty's past, I think it's kind of easy to get into, Russian map with gray backgrounds and gray buildings and all that, right? We don't really have that here. You get a little bit of variety, a little bit of difference in map design and color theming and all that good stuff. So, yeah, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I haven't really messed around with the league mechanics too much. I wasn't really able to access it. I don't know why. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But I'm kind of interested in the league mechanics and how they work.
Cool. So it feels good, sounds good, plays good.
Yeah. Like I said,
does it earn your pre-order?
No.
We're gonna wait.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit. I have to take a look. I probably end up getting it like probably opening weekend, but I'm not gonna pre-order it. I think I'm probably gonna have to sit down and.
Does the slower gameplay work in its favor?
Yes. Definitely. It definitely works in its favor, because I feel like less often do I feel like I'm getting ripped off. More often do I feel like I'm like, well, that dude outplayed me. Good shot. You know what I mean?
Or where you feel like it's almost your fault. Where
Yeah.
you're like, I should have been looking there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like, fuck, I made that mistake. Or, man, this guy's fucking, like, because there's situations in the previous, especially the most recent Call of Duty, where the dude fucking jumps over me. I never even saw him. Like, what chance do I have if I don't even fucking see the guy? You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah, that's a good point.
There's some cheese ball to the most recent Call of Duties as far as how some of the gameplay panned out. I don't really feel that here. Because there's been plenty, so far, there's plenty of scenarios where I'm, like, sweating because my teammate's down, and then it's...
Your heartbeat in your asshole type of shit?
Yeah, and that's good stuff. So, like I said, I don't know if the game mode is necessarily something that's going to keep my interest long-term, but I'm sure that they're going to have other things coming out. I mean, I'm a big domination player is kind of what I do.
Ground war, domination.
I stay away from ground war. I just do straight domination, yep. So I'm with it.
Okay,
honestly, dude, I didn't notice the fucking lack of... Minimap. I didn't notice.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't notice. There were some scenarios where maybe I missed it a little bit, but honestly, dude, like up until
it wasn't like a detriment.
Yeah, up until I thought about it right now, I didn't even realize that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's
good. That means the transition was well done,
pretty seamless.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you were looking forward to it, I hope you got the chance to play the alpha and make your own decisions out there, boys and girls. But I think I'm gonna end up getting this and hopefully having some fun with it.
Awesome. I think this is the first time we've been optimistic about a Call of Duty since like Black Ops 2 or 3.
Quite some time.
Yeah, quite some time.
All right. So to wrap up gaming, we have the remainder of Combat Pack 1 for Mortal Kombat announced. Have you seen these?
Oh yeah, of course. So of course, in addition to Nightwolf, Sindel, Shang Tsung, we got the Terminator, voiced by Arnold himself.
Fucking mocapped by Arnold, too, by the looks of it.
We got Spawn, which was heavily rumored and confirmed.
Yeah.
And then we got
the Joker. Yep. The Joker was a little bit of a surprise. I think we all thought Pennywise was going to be the one that they leaned on. I mean, as far as clowns, I guess. I don't know. I think everybody kind of expected that, especially with the new movie coming out and all that good stuff. I know Michael Myers was in there. Ash from Evil Dead, we all thought was coming, too. This didn't happen. They ended up going with the Joker, the Terminator, and Spawn. I think it's interesting. I find it incredibly interesting that the first combat pack is going to last the first year of the game's life cycle.
Yeah, because they're not dropping all the fighters at once.
Yeah,
they're spreading them out.
Yeah, they're spreading them out. Months at a time, which is good. I think it's a two-pronged thing. I think because they want to make sure the longevity of the game sticks around. And I think with some of the labor complaints that we've heard out loud, I think it's a good opportunity for them to be like, well, see, we're not killing everybody. You know what I mean? You got time to develop these characters.
I'm sure at least a good chunk of these characters are finished or close to.
Yeah, just about, especially with the way it looked. Like you don't get that far in the
process without having something.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Which
are you most excited for?
Sindel.
She
looked really that facial animation that looked really fucking good. I was kind of stunned by the whole entire thing. My mom's trying to FaceTime me, knowing damn well that I do a podcast, but I'm not gonna get into it. I was gonna put her on blast, but I'm not gonna.
So good combat pack. 3 and 3, so kind of a chunky combat pack as opposed to what we were used to on MKX.
Yeah.
And do you think they're gonna do a second one?
I'd imagine so.
Yeah.
Because I know that what the rumor was is that they were gonna be supporting Mortal Kombat 11 more so than any other previous NRS title.
So they're going for, how did MKX last? 3 years? Maybe a little less?
No, I mean, MKX probably, as far as like full-blown like development and love and care and constant maintenance, probably about a year and a half.
Okay.
Maybe barely hitting 2, maybe. But they decided that they're going to maybe give 2.5 years of love to this game. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure it's going to be some time away until we get the next NRS title, which I'm okay with because Mortal Kombat's awesome and I enjoy it still.
You won't be saying that until you get the Shaolin and Monks remaster.
Yeah, then that's there's something about that. But yeah, so Combat Pack 1 looks good. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun moving forward.
Good stuff.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into
music news and reviews.
Oh yeah, we are back for music news and reviews.
Fun fact: Jacob is literally incapable of physically saying that.
I just
in
did.
that order.
I just did.
No, stop that.
Okay.
Go back and edit it out.
Okay, yeah, cut that out. No, it's not happening.
He doesn't know how to cut.
That's not happening.
All right, so Atreyu, speaking of you don't know how to cut, lip gloss and black. Atreyu 20th anniversary tour. I can't believe they've been around for 20 years.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. So they announced that they're going on a tour with Whitechapel and somebody else. That's Gideon.
Whitechapel, okay.
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, they're going on tour at Whitechapel, and they're going to have a wide variety of dates.
I'm sure they're buddy-buddy, but I just thought that having a deathcore band open up for Atreyu that's kind of been all over the place in the metalcore scene. Interesting choice.
Yeah.
I think it'll work, though.
Yeah, should be a fun tour. But yeah, 20th anniversary. That's crazy.
That's weird to think of, man. Super weird.
Absolutely. Speaking of super weird and Jacob liking dad metal, Killswitch Engage came out with a single. I think they dropped the whole album. Actually, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I saw it at Target the other day.
Yeah, you did. It's called Atonement. The single that in question is called The Signifier, which is featuring Howard Jones, who was the previous vocalist from Killswitch Engage. I enjoyed the song quite a bit. It's a little messy, but I do like the vocals, and hearing Howard on a Killswitch Engage track again brings back fond memories. So if you're a fan of Killswitch Engage, I'm sure you enjoyed this album, and I'm going to have to take a look against it at some point, I guess.
Good stuff. Is Every Time I Die dad metal at this point?
Yes.
Because they've been around 20 years.
Correct.
Keith and Jordan are approaching 40.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. I guess I also enjoy dad metal.
All
or dad
right.
punk.
So, speaking of not dad metal, let's talk about...
So let's talk about the one of the more anticipated albums of the year, Knocked Loose, A Different Shade of Blue. Came out Friday. Just this small little tiny hardcore band out of Tennessee. Was it Tennessee? Missouri? Kentucky.
Yeah.
One of them southern states. So, when I was looking forward to this album, we were doing the singles, I expected to get hit over the head. What I didn't expect was a full-blown 6v1 beatdown, getting mugged and tossed in a river after the fucking album ended. Holy shit. Did you listen to this?
I did.
Did we listen to the same album?
We did.
Okay. Talk to me.
So I texted the Gabe earlier this week that I'm like, man, those singles that they picked were actually really poor choices of singles because I think those are probably the weakest songs on the album.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, not at all. There's some songs on here I'm like, holy shit. Like, I had to pause and realize where I was at. Cause
you had to pause and calm down.
Yeah, because I thought somebody threw me down a fucking well made out of fucking razor blades, barbed wire, and teeth.
You woke up in Bronzeville.
Stupid. And teeth, right? That's what I thought. But, yeah, man.
You woke up on the wrong side of St. Louis.
Yeah, I guess so. Shit. Anyway, I got all wigged out a little bit for a second there. But, yeah.
He's having flashbacks.
Yeah, back from Nam. All the blood. Anyway, so I gave the album a listen. It's fucking...
It's really good, man.
It's
I
really
think I'm glad they took their time with it because it really shows. It does not feel like laugh tracks. In fact, I think it blows laugh tracks out of the water. And when that came out in 2016, 2015, something like that,
probably.
Whatever. When it came out a few years ago, we were like, wow, this is awesome. This is fucking great. And that kind of blew them way the fuck up.
Yeah.
But this is a testament to what a band can do when A, they blow up quickly,
Correct.
B, they need to manage it, and C, they're essentially the forefront of the hardcore genre right now, and they didn't let it get to their heads. They're still great songwriters. Bangerz is still a super humble dude, and this album is fucking phenomenal. And you know, I always say it as like a joke, but when the guys in Every Time I Die take stock in you, and they're like, hey, they're the next big thing, maybe you should listen, because they've been in the game for 20 years now.
Keith Buckley is featured on this album.
Yep.
Yeah.
Really good feature.
Yeah, not
you
bad.
You want to hear a fun little story?
Sure.
I guess Brian sent him the song, and he was like, hey, kind of write whatever you want for this. You know, he sent it to Keith. And a few days later, Brian looks at his email, and he's like, shit, I sent him the wrong song. It worked out well, though. I like the feature.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right. Yeah, so I gave the album a listen. There's some good stuff in there. For me, I think there was some level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Of maybe like I've seen this before. Like I've seen bands with good debut albums and kind of fall off the face of the earth.
We see it all the time.
And honestly, I thought we were going to get some of that here. Because especially with the singles, I wasn't particularly blown away by any of them.
Sure.
I actually it kind of shocked me how good this album was. Because there's a breakdown on, I think, The Well. That was just like, oh my god, it's fuck! I couldn't even handle it. I was
chunky.
Yeah, I was fucking making faces at my wife when I was jamming to it earlier, or actually yesterday when I was fucking getting to it. But yeah,
that being said, I do want to give a quick little nod because I said I didn't like Insert Coin Here from We're Not Your Kind by Slipknot. I thought it was the weakest of their opening kind of experiments. That being said, I think unless The Devil Wears Prada cranks out the most disgusting opening track ever, I think Belleville is going to take it because that thing comes out swinging with a barbed wire bat.
Yeah.
It's not waiting for you.
This is true.
You got any favorites?
The Well. Let me get
In the Walls. Is it that one?
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
In the Walls.
Because I don't know why I keep on saying The Well. There's something, maybe the Silent Planet or somebody had something in the Walls. All right. Yeah, In the Walls. And Serpent's Touch. Those are the two I like the most.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't heard of this Emma Boster person before. Have you?
No.
She did a great feature. Loved it.
I had no idea who that was.
Yeah, for me, Belleville, love it. By the Grave, love it. Guided by the Moon, and Denied by Fate. Slam-a-mama jam. Good stuff. Great album. I think this is approaching number one. I can't give you a solid verdict until the end of the year because, you know, you got to kind of listen to it.
Yeah.
You got to kind of let it grow on you like a tumor.
Absolutely. This is approaching Gabe level. This is 8.5 for me. It's a good album. It's a really good album. It's a good effort. We'll see where it falls. I'll definitely be in the top 10 conversation. We'll see about 5.
Yeah, I think it might just knock that Slipknot album out for me.
Really?
Yeah. We'll regroup. We'll see. This is just kind of initial thoughts. It might just be recency bias. We'll see. But yeah, like you said, top 10 without a doubt. Probably a little more in my top 5. If we're being honest here, but we'll see.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. Knocked Loose. Thank you for keeping. I don't know.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. Keeping Southern hardcore. And they're not going to be at the season this year, which is unfortunate. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Go ahead and announce that lineup. Do you have that on you by chance?
I can pull it up.
So this is Gabe's. I guess is going to be his yearly.
Yearly trip.
His yearly trip to Buffalo, New York.
Well, I was telling Maddie I want to go, but we're gonna have to wait and see how finances are looking and things like that nature. Did I sent it to you? Yeah, I did. So they're doing 2 days. They're doing a Friday and a Saturday because they just sold out that 5,000 person venue last year, like real quick.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous. So Every Time I Die is playing both nights. Let's go through Friday. So Mercy Union, All Get Out, Harm's Way. Oh, so good, so chunky.
Yeah, grimy.
Followed up by Terror. Oh, so chunky.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That hardcore lineup. The Damn Things, Keith Buckley's other band I did a review earlier this year.
Yep.
Pretty solid. Against Me. Wow. Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Followed by Every Time I Die headlining. Saturday, my people at See You Space Cowboy made the cut, which I thought was interesting.
Yep.
It kind of came out of nowhere. Candy and See You Space Cowboy are on the same tour at the moment.
Okay.
Or they will be with Knocked Loose. Mongol Horde, haven't heard of them. The Cave In, the Get Up Kids, Ghostface Killah, which is out of the blue.
It is a total fucking curveball, and I fucking love it.
Glassjaw, which is another great choice.
Yeah.
And then Every Time I Die headlining.
Ghostface Killah, man. Ghostface is probably going to have a fucking crazy show, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet his show's going to go absolutely nuts. Good stuff, man.
They should have had Ghostface right before Every Time I Die.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
I'd be totally down with that.
Have him come out for, I don't know, like map chains or some shit.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Now we're thinking.
Yeah,
Keith Buckley, if you ever hear this, please.
Absolutely. So, yeah, that's 'tis the season, and I guess we'll have to wait and see.
The tickets are running low.
Already?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. You know, tickets go up the day after the show for the next year.
Really?
Yep.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I bought mine for 2018 and 2017, the day after the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then we got that boat show coming up, which is going to be fun.
Sounds like
Oh, Lordy.
Sounds like an episode of Vila Bam. Let's go see Every Time I Die on a boat.
I'm going to wear a suit like Deco.
Yeah. Anyway. All right, so we got Certified Bangerz of the Week, Gabe.
Okay, so I kind of want to talk about these two a little bit. So first one, Sirens and Sailors. I'm Not Sorry. Good single. They're back. They're a little more on the cleaner side of metalcore. I think it works in their favor because their clean vocalist is very good.
Okay.
That being said, this band's been kind of in the abstract for the past 4 years. I don't want to say they've been quiet because they've been dropping merch left and right, and it's been kind of irritating because, they're like, here's some new shirts, and I'm like, drop a fucking single or an album.
Jesus Christ, Gabe,
But,
you picked the mic so hard right there.
Hey man, I'm just saying, I like Sirens and Sailors a lot. I think they're a good band.
Yeah.
But the fact that the past 4 years have been, here's the merch, we want a song. I'm trying not to peek the mic. But They dropped it. It's good. I'm excited. Hopefully we get an album, maybe an EP, maybe another single. I would be happy to see them back. That's kind of all I got to say about that one. Did you listen to it?
No, because I don't think they actually made a joke about it this morning. I don't think it hit the Apple feed until this morning.
Yeah. There's some issues with their Apple feed, but check that out.
They actually have. I actually looked this up. They have two different feeds. One with Sirens and Sailors spelled out
A-N-D, and the other one with the symbol.
With the symbol, and so they got two different feeds going right now. So I think they're gonna get that sorted out because I was really confused.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I was confused. But so there's that, and this one,
The Devil Wears Prada dropped the single, dropped the pre-order bundles. So the single's called "Lines of Your Hands," and I think I mentioned it the other day from that leak a few weeks ago that this was on par.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I'm not blown away by it, like at all.
Okay, so I got some interesting news for you because Alternative Press did an interview with Mike Kranitsa of The Devil Wears Prada. Let me talk about the single first. It feels like something that it naturally precedes or follows Transit Blues. I think it was a very natural kind of transition into the style, especially coming off the kind of, I don't want to say more technical, but this kind of paused metalcore influence. You don't really know if it's like milk tea or if it's coffee kind of stuff, right? It's that weird in between, or it could be either or.
Yeah.
The single's okay. I think it'll grow on me with some time because I listened to it a couple times and might each re-listen. I was like, okay. That being said, this interview, I don't know how to feel about this. So he said that this single is not representative of what they're doing on the album, and they're doing a sound transition change. And he mentioned, I don't know what they're transitioning to, but he heavily hinted that they're going to do hard rock because he said that there's not a lot of crazy stuff in the hard rock scene. There's not a lot of good influences, blah, blah, blah. Don't quote me. Check out the article. But he said along those lines. So I'm thinking they're trying to transition into, I don't know, maybe spoken word, like with Mountain Mover, something like that. Maybe like something like Being As Notion in that vein, or maybe they're going to go the full-blown hard rock radio vein. I'm not too sure.
Okay, question then.
Sure, fire away.
Why would they release a song that is not...
They're trying to ease the fan base into their new sound. That was the reason behind releasing this first. And I don't know how I feel about that. I think...
Sounds like bullshit to me.
Hate to bring them up, but I think 100th did it right. They said, this is our new sound. And they didn't back away from it. They're like, this is what we're doing. You're on board or you're not. And that's fair.
Yeah.
That's their choice. We spoke about this at length. But they did it. They said, hey, you're on board or you're not. And now we're here. And now Devil Wears Prada finds themselves in an interesting situation where, first of all, we don't have the triangle on the damn album.
Horrible.
Whatever. I could live without it.
Criminal.
There you go. But yeah, now I'm curious to see where it goes. Because I was about to put in my pre-order right there and then when they went up. But I was like, let's listen to the single first. And then I read the interview, and now I'm like, well, I'll wait for another single. I don't know, man.
Interesting.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. If they're doing spoken word, I think it'll work. and I think they'll stay true to themselves. But I think too much of a crazy transition, and we're gonna see ourselves at an interesting point on this podcast.
Let's see where this, because there's several lists that we have on the end of the year podcast. Let's see.
Well, even that we have like the grand lists overall, like artists with no bad albums. Who's up there? The Devil Wears Prada, Every Time I Die,
August Burns Red,
The
Architect,
right? And so now
are we gonna get there?
Now we're kind of worrying.
Yeah.
Well, what are your thoughts on this, man?
I mean, whatever. They have the right to do whatever the fuck they want to do. Like you said, I don't have to like it. So like I said, the single itself was it was okay. I mean, it's definitely not anything off of any previous album that, I wouldn't put this above any of that. But I mean, with that being said, I mean, I don't want to give them total shit for it, because they did kind of experiment with kind of more of a hard rock sound on the Space EP.
They've had these transitions before. They went from Plagues to With Roots Above Branches Blue. They dropped that riff salad kind of thing, right?
Riff salad.
Well, that's what punk rock NBA calls it, and I think it's true.
Riff salad.
Where it's just riff after riff after riff, right? And they went into like this true metalcore form, and With Roots, then they did some hardcore experimentation.
Riff salad.
Right? It's funny, right?
I like that.
And then they did some hardcore experimentation with Throne, and then they did this kind of post-core grunge rock in transit blues, but they still kept true to like the metalcore.
I like how you skipped 818 again.
Who? 818 is not a bad album. That being said, it is the Casino Royale of the discography. Who's 818? You mean the Sailor's Prayer song? Yeah, but they've had these transitions before, where it's this noticeable jump in sound, and I think that first one from Plagues to Roots is probably like a refining of what they're good at.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because like Texas is South. It's a fucking banger, but come on, man. It's not this kind of holy grail of a song.
Oh, yeah. You picked a bad example.
Dogs can grow beards all over.
You picked a bad example again.
What was the other one? Mispronounced the...
I don't know.
Yeah. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
We could probably, between you and I, we could probably name all the tracks from Roots to Zombies to Dead Throne to Space. Probably even 818 if we tried.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to give them total shit for it, because Space was actually kind of a more experimental. Not so
that was
much,
a departure too.
Yeah, not so much hard, heavy.
If you wanted a zombie EP, Space EP was not it.
Yeah, this is true. So I'm with it. We'll see.
Maybe they'll do something really cool and creative, like and I only bring this up because we listened to it the other day. I put on Dispose, man, and I feel like every time I put on that album, it blows me away again and again.
Yeah.
And I was like, if they do something like that, I'm all on board.
He with it.
Be with it.
You with it.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess we'll have to wait and see moving forward what the Devil Wears Prada has in store for us.
Can Knocked Loose make the next soundtrack for the next Mortal Kombat game?
Oh.
Now we're thinking. Hey, Ed Boon.
Yeah, Boon. Hey, Boon. All right. Sorry. So is that what we got, Gabe?
I think that's it, man. We'll have a Disney review of Galaxy's Edge. Oh, quick little thing. They built the Helicon Space Cruiser, the hotel in Disney.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Space Cruiser themed hotel.
Yeah.
It looks ridiculous, and it's supposed to be really expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got to add.
Interesting. So that was episode 130 of the second.
Oh wait, I got one more.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry. Do
you
you remember a band called Breathe Carolina?
No.
No.
Well,
they did.
I put it in the spot in my head where I just.
Okay.
Don't.
Well, they did a really good. I wouldn't necessarily call it a remix because it's not a full blown remix. They did a really good rendition of All Star by Smash Mouth. It's really like nice upbeat one.
Why would you even? Okay.
Anyway, check that out.
All right. So. I'm not going to check that out at all, just for the record. All right. So that was episode 130 of the Second City Kids podcast. You will see us back here next week for episode 131. Gabe will have his full-blown Disney review of his time with a significant other and see how hopefully he had some fun. And
I
all
ain't
that good
coming
stuff.
back.
Yeah, right. He's going to stay there and be assimilated by the mouse. But that is the Second City Kids podcast. We will see you back here for next week. And until then, folks, deuces. Thank you guys for joining us this week on the Second City Kids podcast. You can like us on iTunes, Google, anywhere else podcasts are found. Any comments, questions, or concern, you can email us at secondcitykids@gmail.com. Until next week, folks, deuces.